patriarchy only benefits a minority of men, and even women who acknowledge this still hold the average man responsible for upholding it. This is a misdirection because you can see how feminists take out their hatred on the average man, not just the top, which means that they subconsciously blame all men. Whilst there are privileged groups of men and women, the difference is that the privilege is more equitably distributed between women than it is for men. It'd be more justified for the average man to lecture the average woman on the privilege than the other way around. They have this idea that there's some sort of trickle-down privilege that men at the top give to men lower than them, which is ironic considering these kinds of ideas are mocked when it comes to economics. They believe that all men are loosely allied with each other, which is a projection because women have camaraderie with each other, so they assume men are the same. We don't. It's ironic that the more privileged sex is the one that's angry about privilege and somehow came to the conclusion that men collectively hate them and want to control them. There will not be any resources dedicated specifically for women in terms of sexual harassment laws, alimony, child support, or DEI programs if men in power hated women. It's just some women making up excuses to hating groups of people. How else do you justify hatred towards a group? You give yourself a casus belli by saying that the other groups want to be oppressed. The fact that spewing hatred towards men is more socially acceptable than vice versa tells you exactly what you need to know. To learn who rules over you, look at who you aren't allowed to criticize. The only time people talk about privilege is when they want privileges for themselves. Women aren't going to intentionally avoid Chad to consciously avoid adding to his already enriched life. They'll cling onto him for trickle-down privilege and to dunk on lesser women. When women have the opportunity, they'll add to Chad's privilege instead of being with a sub-5 man to balance it out, so to speak. They'd rather be part of Chad's harem and increase dating inequality than equalize it by being with the most unattractive man possible. So it's complete two-faced behavior when they speak about feminism, privilege, and all the other social justice issues. They have this straw man where they say that men only want sex and not love. They take a few examples of men who are like that and use it as an excuse for not wanting to be with a looks match. They're disgusted by the options, but they can't say that because they're approval-seeking slaves who don't want to upset people. It's always optics with normies, not a shred of integrity to their name. It's stolen incel valor. They want to cry about loneliness and get social acceptance that way, instead of being honest and being seen as shallow. There's also this complaint about not being seen as seriously as men. Again, pathetic approval-seeking behavior. As someone who names himself an enemy of the mainstream and goes against every mainstream belief openly and proudly, I have no sympathy for them. You shouldn't even be seeking anyone's approval because it has negative value. My life would get worse if I had it. Grow a fucking backbone. Seriously. You want to be seen in a powerful light, like men do. Try espousing some traditional masculine values like bravery and resilience. Gattis and Daniel say and do whatever they want without seeking people's approval, including crying on camera. Even this channel serves as nothing but a giant middle finger to society. You don't think my open support of those aforementioned people has made me enemies? You don't think the idea came to my head that people would mock me for saying I want Stacey? I could have lied and said I just want a Becky or I sub 5 women to be happy to appease the mainstream, but fuck them. I know what I want and I do what I want. You can keep complaining about not receiving people's approval, but you should know. You're just another slave in my eyes for caring about it. That kind of mindset is what's keeping society down. People are too afraid to speak out, so they keep all kinds of degeneracy going. Why would they not hate people like you?